Welcome, everyone. It is my great pleasure to connect with you today. I am here with my beautiful soul sister friend, Karina Ladet. Welcome, Karina.
Thank you so much, Laura. I'm so glad to be here and connecting with everyone who will join us as well.
Yes, we are very excited to speak with you today. So I'd just like to quickly introduce you to Karina. Karina is an intuitive channel who mentors conscious entrepreneurs to embrace their purpose. She's a heart-centered intuitive who can see who you truly are and help you release what is holding you back and reconnect you with your soul's purpose. Karina's gift is to create a safe space where you feel so deeply supported and loved that you can share your gifts and light with the world. How beautiful. And she truly does that. I know I've had many beautiful sessions with Karina. Amazing girl. So we are excited to share and talk about an important subject for intuitive entrepreneurs, business owners, and beyond, anyone who really wants to connect to their heart, their guidance, their soul, to their purpose. And we want to share some of our tools and tips with you today. So we're going to be speaking about how do we align ourselves to the vibration of what we are here to share and bring into this world. How do we connect to that soul's calling that we all have? We know there's something deep inside of us that's yearning to be created or expressed or shared. And we'd like to talk to you about how we do that and how to do that. So Karina, would you like to begin with sharing anything you want to on this subject and some of the tools or practices that you use to start us off?
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for your kind words. So what do I do? Yeah, it's so interesting because I find that when I first started doing business, I realized that what matters the most beyond the strategies and the marketing tools and being on the right social media channels was how I was feeling inside and my energy. And that somehow seemed to call in the right people, the right opportunities, and things were flowing. And so at the beginning, I didn't really know what I was doing to be in that state, but I started observing myself. And for me, that's like the first step for anyone who wants to be more in alignment and maybe call in that next creation that's calling you, nudging you, and that you don't really know how to begin with, is to start paying attention to when do you feel in flow, when do you feel amazing, what work do you do where you feel like you're actually not working. And anytime you feel like really expansive or like you're having a lot of fun and it feels like you're really being yourself, do more of that and then do less of all the other things that don't make you feel so great. And without putting the pressure to do it perfectly, because we're also human and of course we're going to have to take the trash out and do the dishes. But we can do it mindfully, right? And then weave in more and more of the things that make us feel amazing. Whenever I was connecting in with my guidance, I would receive messages like play, dance, have fun, go out in nature. And at first I was like, I don't have time to do those things. I have to work on my business and do the real work. And well, you know how it is, Lara, you kind of go, no, I don't have time. And then it's not working if we don't do things that are in flow with us and that give us energy. So I reluctantly gave in and started to spend more time outside and do things I enjoyed. And because I was feeling so good and my energy was like expanding, then I would call in great opportunities. So I have many times when I've been like walking in the woods or being on holidays and someone signs up for something, and not necessarily when I'm in front of my computer doing the hard work. So for me, it's really about paying attention and then over time doing more and more of the things that make us feel really great and that feel exciting and expansive. And that's probably going to change over time because in our businesses, some things are going to feel great and then they're not going to feel so great. So either we need to change something within the form that it takes, or maybe we need to do something new. So it's like constant growing, I think, and listening. Always listening and always fine-tuning that.
Yeah, amazing. And I'm kind of giggling to myself, kind of remembering my journey to really trusting in this process as well. Because I learned all of this the hard way myself as well. I was like really like pushing and hard work and like going for it. And you can create from that place. But what I discovered and what happened to me was that you also create stress, overwhelm, and I started getting ill. So any time I started to go into that pushing energy or striving or trying to make something happen, I would get ill. And it was so frustrating for me. So the universe or my higher self really kind of like beat me to the ground. It's like, you're going to stop and get this now. And so I learned the hard way that, oh, wow, when I do stop, when I do rest, when I do connect and feel more in that kind of flow, magic starts to happen. And it took, I have to say, I was like a slow learner with this one, because I'd go into meditation, my guidance would say similar to you, like, stop, relax, let go, like, have fun, go out in nature. And it's just so, the challenge is that it so goes against how we've been trained, how we've been taught how to work. And it's very different to what we've been shown. So I guess with both of us now, we've had enough experience to know that actually creating from a place of joy, creating from a place of harmony, creating from a place of, for me, feeling relaxed and at ease, like that is where magic can start to appear. So I guess I'd love to know from you, like, what have you discovered? Like, because I know that our minds are not on board with this idea that, like, we can create, our lives in this sort of high frequency flow, joy place. What would you say are some of the benefits that you've discovered, like when you're creating, working from that higher frequency versus like kind of stress, overwhelm, got to get that done? Can you share a little bit about your experience with that?
Yeah, it's just been so amazing, because I've heard so many people say this, like, go with the flow, do the things that make you feel good. And I was like, yeah, whatever, because I had no proof that was actually working and that it was a thing. But what I realized once I started experimenting is that it's kind of a strange thing. I always feel like time expands. You have 1 hour and you're like, oh, wow, there's no way I'm going to get that done in 1 hour. And when I'm in flow and really in alignment and I'm doing the right thing at the right time, I feel like it's actually, I've got 10 hours. Like it's as if time and my energy and everything around me just somehow expands to make room for that thing. And another thing is that I will receive a lot more support, like energy support, real people support, whatever it is. It's like my people are going to feel that, and they're going to reach out to me and be like, oh, hey, I see that you're doing this. Do you need help? Or why don't you come and join me for this thing? Or something happens. It's as if the right doors are open, and it calls in everything we need to make that happen. That saying that the universe kind of conspires to make your dreams come true? That's what it feels like when we're in alignment and we're doing the right things in the right, like, energy, I guess, for us. And it's just magical. It really feels like being in one of those movies where you're like, wow, that's a really magical thing. I wish that would happen to me. And that's how it feels. And I also feel like whatever I create when I'm in that flow, in the right moment, there's something about the timing and the right energy, and then bringing all of myself into it, is that it always has a bigger impact than when I let my mind decide what I'm going to create. It's as if people are waiting to do that thing that I'm offering in that moment, as if I'm kind of answering a call that I didn't know people were actually asking for. So it's got this kind of, I guess, higher purpose to it. And like there's a bigger picture to it, and it has a much bigger impact. So yeah, it's really, really magical.
It is magical. It's like a greater impact with greater ease, right?
Yeah.
And this is the thing that's just, I know that our minds struggle with so much. And it's fascinating, like I'm covered in goosebumps now, that when we get out of the mind and get out of that kind of the old programming of like hard work or struggle or push or force, and we connect to the flow of, heart or soul, that greater consciousness, it has divine intelligence that knows what is needed and required in every moment beyond that which our mind can understand, right? So when we get out of that mind and out of that stress and out of the fear and really get into that flow, we're tapping into this much greater connection, like the interconnectedness with all of life. And then it's like, we don't have to do hard work. It's like,
Yeah.
so I love, like, I was going to say, we don't have to do it all alone, do we? Another one I've learned the hard way.
Yeah.
You start, I guess it's like step by step, you start to trust, you start to experiment, start to have experiences, and then start to experience, like really in real life, experience what happens when we do let go or get into that flow or listen to our body. And then it's like, oh my God, when I let go or I relaxed, oh, poop, that popped in, or and then slowly but surely can start to trust in that, which, you know, feels quite radical sometimes, like a radical way to live.
Yes.
So, and you and I both, you know, run our businesses from this place now. Like, I know for myself, if I go into overwhelm, if I go into stress, I know I'm out of alignment. So I stop. I don't create from overwhelm and stress, or I try to as little as possible. I know it doesn't mean I don't go into overwhelm or stress or anxiety. I still do, but the practice is, right? The practice is coming back into that alignment. So, Karina, I was wondering if you could share like some of your personal practices. Like, what do you do to get back into flow, to get back into alignment? And also, like, maybe some of the, like, the warning signs, like, how do you know, like, when you've fallen out of flow, perhaps? Could you share a bit about that with us?
Yeah, great questions. Well, for me, like for you, it's like overwhelm when I don't enjoy what I'm doing, or when I start to feel resentful for doing the things that I normally love doing. Or if I feel like there's too much noise and I can't quite hear myself. But usually it's more like it doesn't feel fun. And I usually love what I do. So most of the time I feel a lot of joy. So that for me is a sign. And also I find that there are actually practical, physical things that don't flow. Like maybe I don't make enough money, or I call in like clients that I don't resonate with, or like it's a very tangible thing as well in the physical. And it definitely feels like I'm kind of walking uphill, you know, and it's kind of heavy. So that those are usually the signs that something's off. And then I've got plenty of things that I do to come back into alignment. And I usually choose the one that feels the easiest if I feel really overwhelmed. And I just start somewhere. And for me, it's definitely going out in nature. And I'm pretty lucky because I live in the south of France, in the countryside. So I just step outside of my house. I go for a walk, or I go down by the river, or someplace where I feel really connected. And that usually helps a lot. And then I do a lot of like energy clearings, and I give myself some healing. And then I clear out like things like, I don't know, other people's energies, my thoughts, my emotions, until I feel clear enough so that I can hear my own guidance, and I can listen to whatever it is that I need in that moment. And then if I have the courage to start there, usually it just unfolds from there. And that can be rest, or don't do anything today, which of course my mind struggles with because that doesn't make sense. But if I give myself permission to do that, then things start to flow again. So usually it's about doing less, like stepping away from my computer, not like getting sucked into whatever I think is really, really important and has to be done now. Going outside, movement as well, like moving my body, like yoga, or going for a walk. And then I try to eat like pretty clean food, or do something fun, especially if I feel like I'm feeling the pressure of business, like I have to do all these important things. Sometimes it's just doing something fun, like going out with girlfriends or doing something silly. I find laughter and like playing or doing something creative can really help as well. So anything but business stuff, really.
Yeah, exactly. We're successful in business by not doing business.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I'm giggling just because, like, I know our minds are like, what? How does that work?
Yes.
But I found the same. Like, sometimes I think, God, if you know, people knew like how much time I give to all this stuff, it would be like, that feels like almost like cheating. You know, cheating at life, cheating at business, cheating at you know, working. But I found the same. Like, I have to put a lot of time into that, you know, call it self-care, that space outside of work. And I do very similar things to you. I have a dog, so I'm in London as well, so it's a little bit like more of a challenge. So I even have to work harder maybe to stay really aligned and calm. But I walk the dog, I have to move my body, I meditate, I have to eat as clean as possible as well, without being rigid and uptight about it. So I also I love food and I love having a drink, and so it's about balance with that, but primarily eating really clean food is really important, getting good night's sleep, and also I find connection. I've learned that connection with people that I love and that I feel loved by is really, really important for me. And the space outside of work and business is essential. And I try and have time, a couple of hours before I even start working to really connect, really align, get into that flow. So I wait till I feel good, really, which is not always possible to be 100%, but primarily that's what I'm looking for, is that place of feeling relaxed, at ease and flow, a bit of energy. And then I know I can start to create in my business. What I found really interesting is actually everyone's different, so everyone needs to learn how to find their rhythm, their flow, how does their energy system work. But I found that then I can actually create quite quickly. So stuff it's not that it's hard, and it doesn't have to take a lot of time. It's just about focus. And when I'm aligned and I can just focus and go boom, 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 and actually it's then quite joyful. I find when things start to feel hard work, it's because I've got my own stuff up. I've got maybe fears or anxiety, or maybe there's anger or resentment, or there's something that's out of alignment. And then it starts to feel like a slog. Then it starts to feel like hard work. Then it starts to feel like there's a lot of resistance, I find. So I now know that if I'm in that, I've disconnected from myself. Something needs attention. So that's where I need to do that healing, that self-care. Maybe it's journaling. And then it's oh my God, when it's aligned, it's boom, 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 boom. And then we're in that magic flow of creation and manifestation. So it still blows my mind. Well, literally blows your mind to connect you to your heart. Yes. So I would just, say to anyone listening if this is completely new for you, to just start to create this little windows of time, hey, little spaces of time to play, just to explore, see what happens.
Yeah, that's so great. And I think we all have our own journey, like you said, it's a personal thing as well, what brings you joy. Because sometimes my clients are oh, I feel like I should meditate, or I should read all these affirmations. I'm well, if it doesn't feel fun, maybe you can find something else. I don't think everyone has to sit down to meditate. No. If that feels hard and you actually don't want to do it, don't do it. I mean, meditation, that can be yoga, it can be walking in nature, it can be drawing or writing or whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be. It's so interesting, because I think the biggest work is to undo all that conditioning of how work should be and how we should do things and how we should live and all those things. And also I think for spiritual people, or people maybe offering intuitive guidance, or healers or coaches, it's we need to fit into a certain box, but actually we don't. Just create your own box that looks the way you want it to, and do the things that bring you joy, because otherwise it's just going to be another thing on your to-do list. And I don't think self-care should be something that we feel like we should do, right? You do it because it brings you joy. And some days maybe you're going to feel like going boxing, right? And some days you just need to lie down and not do anything. So it's also about really trusting your own rhythm, the season, how, the age you're at, and what's going on in your life. So it's all just really listening to what's coming up in that moment, and trusting that.
Definitely. That's so important what you just said, because it can be really easy to sort of compare yourself to others, or think, oh, she's doing that, that's making her successful, therefore I should be. And actually, when we're really listening, our body will tell us, our inner guidance will tell us, that our intuition will guide us. And that's the whole point of what we're trying to convey here, is to trust yourself and to create space so you can listen. Because sometimes it looks like not doing anything. I got the guidance to stop working for 16 months. And wow. My mind was what is going on here? But it was, a lot of powerful shifts and transformations happened in that time. But that was not a good business choice. Like, that's not how you make money, by stopping work. But hugely powerful things happened that allowed me to like expand and grow to a whole new level after that. So it is a challenge for our minds to really get this, but it's so valuable. And like, I think it's the secret sauce to our success in our business, to also like feel like enjoy your life, you know.
Yes.
It's not just a slog, you know. We're not just like chasing the carrot trying to get somewhere. Like, it's really about how are we living our life now, and how are we experiencing living now, because this is where it's at, like this moment. So easy to say, like not always so easy to do sometimes. Karina, is there anything else you'd like to share on this subject at this time?
Well, I think just don't be so hard on yourself, you know, because I feel like you said, there's always that striving, getting to the next thing, achieving certain goals. And I feel like if we're not enjoying where we are now, we're probably not going to enjoy ourselves that much when we get to that goal, because there's always going to be something more. So for me, it's about like calling in the things that really resonate with me, and like fulfilling my dreams and my purpose and all that. But it's also about enjoying where I am now, because this is the life, right, that we have. And this moment is never going to come back. And we don't know how long we're going to be here in this life. So it's really important to also create a life that we enjoy now. And I find that makes it easier to create other things from that place as well. And just be kind to yourself, because it's not about getting it perfect. I think a lot of people think that I do a lot more than I actually do. Because I do my practices, but if I don't feel like it one day, I'm just not going to do them, and that's okay. I'm not rigid, and I'm definitely not doing it perfectly. I don't think we're here to do things perfectly, where we would be like these evolved angels and we would be somewhere else in space, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're doing the human adventure this time.
Yes, messier.
Exactly. It is. It can be messy, and I love that. It's a lot of self-compassion, and I guess it's also about acceptance as well. So it's a funny balance between trying to like expand and connect and grow, but also about acceptance and surrender to this moment. And they sometimes seem like they're opposite, but they actually come together. So for me, it's like, okay, goals, intentions, that's my higher self guiding me to create, which might be something like beyond my comfort zone, might be something that's like really like confronting, but then also like totally letting go and surrendering at the same time, to almost allow it to be born, allow it to come through. And it's a funny balance, because the mind can often start future tripping, right, and start kind of like trying to chase something into the future, but everything is created from this moment. So we have to keep coming back, hold the vision, hold the intention, and then keep coming back. And it's like, it is a dance, right? Because it can be hard for the mind to grasp those things. So yeah, like, we're definitely not perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. We're perfectly imperfect. And, you know, on the level of our heart and soul, like everything's perfect, but it's really just about, being with where you are now, and loving and accepting yourself where you are now, even if it just doesn't feel good, you know. And in that surrender, that's where I find, that's where we can connect back to that joy, or that flow, that softness again. So I hope you found this useful, listening to some of our tips and tools about getting into alignment, really calling in, creating space to call in what your heart and soul is calling you to create. It's a dance. It's a journey. It's constantly changing, so we need to be constantly listening. But Karina and I know, having done this work for a long time now, we know that it's really, really important in order to actually successfully do this work and to really live in alignment. It's easy to talk about, but actually it needs support. We need to be supported and held in safe spaces to really land into these new healthy habits, patterns, but also space to allow this magic to unfold. And Karina, knowing how important this is, has created a really beautiful program to help you dive even deeper and to receive that support, that container to help you integrate what we're talking about on a deeper level. So Karina has her Embrace Your Purpose program, which is a beautiful, powerful 6-month program I'd love her to tell us about. But if you feel an attraction to finding out more about Karina, she also offers these amazing free 30-minute sessions, the purpose alignment sessions. Just contact her, reach out to her. But I'd love Karina to take a little bit of time to share about her Embrace Your Purpose program for those of you who are really feeling an interest, curiosity around taking this work even deeper. So would you mind sharing a little bit with us, please, Karina?
Oh, thank you, Lara. Yeah, I'm so passionate about this program because it was really born through the desire to share the things that have helped me, because so many women were reaching out to me asking, like, how do you do this, and how do you create a business the way you have, and how do you stay on track, and all those things. And I felt really, really inspired to create something for them that they can use as well. So it's basically a 6-month-long journey it's a really, really loving space, first of all, because for me, it's really important to create a safe space where everyone feels loved and supported no matter what. Because I find that when we start connecting with our purpose and our dreams and our visions, it's amazing, but it also brings up all our stuff. And that's usually where we get stuck, or we struggle to move forward on our own. And I find it so helpful, both for myself, and that's also why I'm offering other women that as well, to have people support you, just to be kind of seen and held and loved as you are, both when you're having a really difficult time, as when something amazing happens and you want to celebrate it with people who really get you and who are genuinely happy for you. Because I find that, because this is kind of like a parallel reality that we live in, right, as intuitive entrepreneurs, where we want to do things that make us feel joyful and that feel in alignment with who we are. I mean, most people don't do business like this. And so I find it really helpful to have other people who are kind of on board with that and who hold the same vision, because it makes us feel less alone, and it makes it feel more real. And then I share really powerful energy tools and guided meditations to connect in, like, with your soul, with the energy of your business, with the creations that want to come through you, to call in your soul clients. And we also work on money and support and visibility and all those really important parts of doing business in a soulful way. And I've got 2 guest teachers as well every time. And yeah, we do lots of really magical things. And it's interesting because it's called Embrace Your Purpose. And I find that, I mean, the goal is to support your business, whether you have a business, maybe you've been in business for some time, or you're just starting, or you would like to start your business. But I find that it goes much deeper than that. So for some people, they're going to come out of the 6 months with like new things that they've launched, making more money, reaching more people, writing books, doing all kinds of amazing things. And for some of the women who've taken the program, they've actually come out of the program, or not even done all of it, before they decide that actually what they really need is to quit their jobs and go on like a sacred journey around the world, to connect with like sacred places, to reconnect with who they are. And then they can create from that space their business, like the business of their dreams. So it's like, I feel like it goes beyond anything that I could have created with my mind. And I'm definitely feeling all the guidance coming through. And it goes really deep. And at the same time, it's really like fun and loving and down to earth. And yeah, so it's definitely that sense of community, and also the tools that I share. And people can ask any questions they want. I'm very open with like my journey, what I've done, what worked and didn't work. So it's a really like honest, authentic space where we connect from heart to heart. So if anyone wants to know a bit more, just get in touch with me or book a free 30-minute purpose alignment session. I'd be happy to talk about it more. And then really trust yourself, because I find that the people who've signed up so far are the ones who just feel it. Like they just know this is the right thing. They may not even know why. It's just, this is what I need to do now. So trust your own guidance, and yeah, and let me know if you need any support or if you have any questions.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And all the links will be below this video for you to access and contact Karina. I would say if you're getting that feeling that just like there's something, you don't understand it, but just bubbling up while you listen, just reach out and have a conversation. Like Karina's like just super loving and supportive. There'll be no pressure whatsoever, just to have like a lovely conversation to find out more. Thank you so much, beautiful Karina. And thank you all for joining and listening in today. We hope you found it valuable. And I'd love to say, just trust yourself, take one step at a time, little baby steps, and start to enjoy living your life, creating your life from this more aligned, heart-centered place. Sending you so much love from Karina and I, and speak to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.